Good afternoon to one and all. I welcome you for the today's one more session, that is energy engineering. Okay. So in this session I will be discussing about lubrication system. Okay. So what is lubrication system? IC engines is made of many moving parts due to continuous movement of two metallic surfaces over each other. There is a varying moving parts, generation of heat and loss of power in the engine. Lubrication of moving parts is essential to prevent all these harmful effects. Okay, the so in IC engine, okay, is made. Purpose of lubrication system. What is the purpose or necessity of the lubrication system? We'll be discussing now. So first of all, reducing friction effect. Reducing friction effect we are using. Primary purpose of lubrication is to reduce friction and wear between surfaces. two rubbing surfaces two rubbing surfaces always produce friction. Continuous friction produce heat which causes wearing of parts. Okay, which causes wearing of parts. Okay, and loss of power. In order to avoid friction, the contact of two sliding surfaces must be reduced as far as possible. This can be done by proper lubrication only. Lubrication forms an oil film between two moving surfaces and also reduces the noise produced by the movement of two metal surfaces over each other. Okay, so cooling effect. Second one is cooling effect. Heat generated by piston, cylinder and bearings is removed. Okay, heat generated by piston, cylinder and bearings is removed by lubrication to a great extent. Lubrication creates cooling effect on engine parts. Third one, seizing sealing effect. Lubrication enters into the gap between the cylinder liner, piston and piston rings, thus it prevents leakage of gases from the engine cylinders. Fourth one, cleaning effect. Lubrication keeps the engine clean by removing dirt or carbon from inside of engine along with oil. Fifth one, to absorb shocks between the bearings and the other parts. And sixth one, that is to clean surface by carrying away the carbon and metal. Okay, this is related to lubrication system. By viewing this sketch of the lubrication system, you all can guess. Okay, next we'll be dealing with type of lubrication system. There are three common systems of lubrication used on stationary. Okay, used on stationary engines, tractor engines and automobile engines. First one is wet sump lubrication system. Under that it comes splash lubrication system, and this one pressure lubrication system, and next one is semi pressure lubrication system. These all comes below wet sump. Okay, and second one dry sump lubrication system, and the third one is mist lubrication system. So we are going to discuss now where first of all wet sump lubrication system. Under that wet sump lubrication system you are going to deal with splash lubrication system. So you all can see the splash lubrication system. Okay, this system first of all we'll discuss about wet sump lubrication system, and we'll be discussing about this splash. Okay, first of all, this system wet sump lubrication system requires large capacity oil sump at the base of crankshaft, from which the oil is drawn by low pressure oil pump and delivers it to various parts. Oil then gradually returns back to the sump after serving the purpose. This is about wet sump lubrication system. Next we'll be discussing about splash lubrication system. Okay, so you all can see the sketch or the figure I have shown in about the splash lubrication system. Okay, so this system is suitable for low and medium speed engines. Okay, in this a scoop at the big end of the connecting rod, you all can see the this is the scoop. Okay, big end of the connecting rod, this is the connecting rod. At the big end, this is the big end and this is the small end. Okay, connecting rod connected to the piston, this is the piston. Okay, and this portion is a cylinder. Okay, so this system is suitable for low and medium speed engines. In this system, a scoop at the big end of the connecting rod splashes the lubrication. This scoop which is at the big end, okay, big end, this portion splashes. You all can see the splash shown here below, and this is the oil sump. From the oil sump it splashes, and it splashes upward, you all can see, to the piston, connecting rod, gudgeon pin, and all the parts. Gudgeon pin is fixed in between this piston. Okay, in this piston there is a gudgeon pin. Okay, so this causes lubrication of engine walls, gudgeon pin, crankshaft, bearing, connecting rod, bearing, etc. Surplus oil eventually flows back to the sump. This system consists of an oil pan, oil pump, strainer, oil filter, and oil pipes, etc. Pump pressurize the oil. Pump pressurize the oil. Okay, and thus next we'll be discussing about wet sump lubrication system. Under that only we are going to discuss with pressure lubrication system. This system consists of, you all can see the here oil pan is there. Okay, oil filter is there. Okay, this is the oil filter and this is the oil pump. Okay, and the pipes. Okay, this below portion is a crankshaft. This is a crankshaft and this hole is a camshaft. Okay, so pressure, the pump the main working of this pump here, the oil pump, which pressurize the oil uh, of up to from 1.5 to 4 bar, and the oil passes through the filter. Why filter is used? What are the impurities contained in the oil will be filtered in the filter. Okay, and what happens, the oil passes through the filter to various parts through the pipelines. Okay, the used oil again drains back to oil pan. Whatever the used oil will be drained back into this oil pan. Okay, pressure gauge is provided to confirm the lubrication of oil to various parts. Pressure gauge is here, you all can see the pressure gauge. In that pressure gauge you all can see the oil, you can confirm with that the oil has been reached to all various parts. This is most effective and positive type of lubrication. A combined splash, previous one, that is splash and pressure lubrication system, okay, is further more effective in IC engines. If we combine this splash lubrication and second one, that is pressure lubrication system, it will be more effective in IC engines. So next we'll be discussing about semi pressure lubrication system, that also comes under wet sump lubrication system. Okay, semi pressure lubrication system. So semi pressure lubrication system, in this system oil under pressure is sent to the main bearing only, Okay, the system is also incorporated with splash system, which lubricates big end and gudgeon pin bearings, cylinder walls, timing gears and camshaft bearings. This method is also a combination of this splash lubrication system and the pressure lubrication system. Okay, this is less costly to install compared to pressure lubrication system. Okay, so next comes dry sump lubrication system. This is the second type, dry sump lubrication system, which is gradually adopted for high capacity engines. In this system no oil is stored in engine crankcase sump, hence it is called as a dry sump lubrication system. Once again I will tell you all, once again I will repeat. Dry sump lubrication system is gradually adopted for high capacity engines. Second point, in this system no oil is stored in the engine crankcase sump, hence it is called as dry sump lubrication system. And this is used, and here used oil from various parts falls into the crankcase. Okay, you all can see the crankcase here. Used oil is falls into the crankcase and it is then routed to the oil reservoir. You all can see this oil reservoir here. This is a tub like oil reservoir where the used oil after routing of the all of the various parts, it comes back return and it dumps down in the oil reservoir or stores, you can say. Oil from reservoir is pumped to the oil cleaner. Through this pump, oil from the oil reservoir is pumped through this cleaner. Okay, oil cleaner, you can see, through oil heater. Through this oil heater, it is sent to the oil cleaner. Okay, in order to reduce viscosity, we use this oil heater in order to reduce viscosity. Cleaned oil is pumped to an oil cooler. Okay, cleaned oil is sent to the oil cooler and then passed through a fine sized oil filter. This is the oil filter. Okay, to remove fine sized dust particles from oil. Next we will be discussing about mist lubrication system. This is the third type, mist lubrication system. Mist lubrication system is used for two-stroke cycle engines. These engines are lubricated by adding 2 to 3% lubricating oil in a fuel tank. Okay, in a fuel tank. Oil and fuel mixture are induced through the carburetor. Okay, through the carburetor. Gasoline is vaporized and oil in the form of mist goes via to the crankcase into cylinder. Oil which impinges on the crankcase walls lubricates connecting rod, bearing and rest of the oil which passes on the cylinder during charging and scavenging periods lubricates piston rings and cylinder, etc. Advantages, this system is very simple. Okay, this system is very simple, low cost as no oil pump and filter are required here. Okay, thank you for the today's session. So if you have any doubts you can call me.